Hello, St. Therese Parish. July 26th is the feast of Saints Joachim and Anne, parents of the Blessed Virgin Mary, and obviously grandparents of Jesus. Now, unofficially, it's been a Grandparents' Day for a number of years, but a few years ago, Pope Francis made it official with a World Day for grandparents and the elderly, and his paternal grandmother played a big role in his own evangelization, in his own spiritual development, and he talked about that. Now, my dad's parents died in Italy long before I was born. I never knew them, but the few times I ever get back there, I do make it a point to go to the cemetery and visit their grave, and sometimes it makes me think about, well, maybe I'm like them in personality or habit or attitude in ways that I'll never know. And from them, through my dad, I got 50% of my DNA. Now, my mom's parents, I was fortunate enough to know, but they both died when I was young. And it's always made me sad that my grandparents were not a bigger part of my life. Now, there were other elderly relatives. I had one aunt in particular who really was like a grandmother, but still, as far as my actual grandparents, that was something I feel like I missed out on to a certain extent. And when there is a wedding and the grandparents are there, I will tell the bride and groom sometimes how fortunate they are that they have their grandparents there at their wedding. A couple of years ago, my brother and sister-in-law became grandparents for the first time, and I became a great uncle for the first time, and that's been something very lovely to watch. And it happened again. They have another grandchild now as of June, so that joy just continues. Pope Francis would go on to say, "The Lord trusts that young people, through their relationship with the elderly, will realize that they are called to cultivate memory and recognize the beauty of being part of a larger history. Grandparents remind us of that." And he goes on after that, "For the elderly, the presence of a young person in their lives can give them hope that their experience will not be lost and that their dreams can find fulfillment." So there is a link there that grandparents give. They can play a very important role in people's lives. And also, the Pope very wisely included not just grandparents, but the elderly. So there are other elderly people in our lives, perhaps other relatives, perhaps family friends, perhaps neighbors. And so as we approach this feast of St. Joachim and Anne, I encourage you, if you have your grandparents around, to visit them, talk to them at least, do something. If they are deceased, please remember them in prayer, and please remember other elderly people in your life as well. Pope Francis went on, "Let us honor them, neither depriving ourselves of their company, nor depriving them of ours." God bless all our grandparents, living and deceased, and God bless all of you.